Steve Rogers, known to the world as Captain America, is still struggling to grasp his involvement with S.H.I.E.L.D., as well as his role in the modern world.
Threads begin to unravel as S.H.I.E.L.D. is compromised by an assassin called the Winter Soldier.
Now, on the run, alongside Black Widow, Captain America must now form his own team and stop the biggest threat he's faced yet.
When you break it down, Captain America the Winter Soldier is really about Steve Rogers coping with the death of the unambiguous good versus evil world that he once headlined. This is the film's subtle brilliance. It's not afraid to take a look at what is good and what is bad in this universe. Steve Rogers, a character designed from the ground up to be an unambiguous good guy, is used as a vehicle to explore that, and it works seamlessly.
The Winter Soldier benefits from having a great cast of characters, all being led at the forefront by Chris Evans as Captain America himself. Chris Evans has never been better as the classic American hero, and thankfully, Winter Soldier puts him in a situation in which he becomes more than just, the lovable heart of gold superhero.
It's great to see him in the more complicated modern world. I think it makes him quite a bit more interesting. I do think that his arc of coming to terms with the new world and the whole good versus evil thing is a little overstated by some reviewers. I personally think they should have gone a little bit farther with it.
Of course, mainstays in the series, Samuel L. Jackson and Scarlett Johansson do a great job as always, providing witty banter on the side for our enjoyment, and even newcomers like Robert Redford, Anthony Mackie, and especially the Winter Soldier himself are fantastic supporting characters that perfectly fit within the universe.
The Winter Soldier is really great. He is a relentless, speechless, and merciless killing machine, and a perfect match for Captain America. He just feels unstoppable, and that makes him really intimidating. He's easily the second best MCU villain. And by that I mean there are now 2 memorable Marvel villains. Zing.
9 movies in, and the set pieces that define Marvel Studios' excellent comprehension of action was starting to get a bit stale for me. Cap 2 doubles down on unexplored conventions of action in the MCU. Instead of lasers and magical hammers, we've got fisticuffs and highway showdowns, bullets and bombs aplenty.
The set pieces are impressive. They all feel unique, they change creatively as the skirmish evolves, and they all build on top of one another in really nice ways. On the smaller scale, there are some excellently choreographed and incredibly well executed fight scenes and stunts here that are really fun to watch.
Admittedly, some of the action scenes had a bit too much shaky cam for my taste, but you just cannot deny how badass Captain America is in this film. I mean, the film is chock full of hell yeah moments, mixed in with some insanely awesome choreography, keeping me thoroughly entertained throughout.
But what good is great action if there's no great plot for it to take place in? Well, I mean, it's still great action, but whatever, we're talking about plot next.
Trust me, if you think you have any idea about the plot of Captain America 2, trust me, you have zero clue. There are plenty of twists and turns in this movie, and believe me, the film pulls it off completely.
The plot is full of interesting developments that certainly take the story in good directions, but I hardly consider any of them shocking. I can't say my mouth was agape at any of the twists.
The movie takes itself very seriously at times, despite the comedic banter between the characters, but because the movie takes itself so seriously, we can also take the film seriously too.
Amusing dialogue lets the audience breathe while the plot moves along at the perfect tempo. In fact, now that I think about it, Winter Soldier is one of, if not the best paced Marvel movies. That being said, my biggest problem with the Winter Soldier comes from the plot. It's too big. It's clearly trying to be Avengers 1.5, and a lot of problems arise due to what that entails. The stakes feel forcibly high, and the circumstances surrounding them come across as pretty stilted and pretty convenient. They don't ruin any of the previous films by any means, but they certainly bring up some questions. And even as a standalone movie, the conditions to these earth-shattering events feel pretty weak at points. There's a lot of exposition and explaining, trying to make it all work.
It's honestly difficult to find anything truly amiss in Captain America the Winter Soldier. Perhaps it's just a little bit too invested in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that it could potentially alienate newcomers and leave them very confused. And the camera can get very jittery during the action sequences. So the movie has problems, but they couldn't be more minor if they were a stain on Steven Rogers' left shoe.
Captain America the Winter Soldier is easily one of the best films I've seen this year, hands down. It's gripping, It's intense, it's explosive, it's hilarious, but most importantly, it's a hell of a lot of fun from beginning to end. While I was walking out of the theater for Captain America the Winter Soldier, I felt alive, for lack of a better term. I mean, a surge of energy was just flowing through me.
There's not really much of a trade-off here, folks. Captain America the Winter Soldier is legitimately excellent. I know it's easy for nerds like us to just salivate over any Marvel release, but trust us on this one. Winter Soldier is one of the best Marvel movies by far. It's serious about its source material without slipping into mopey and dreary territory, and the way the story is told is, quite frankly, kind of brilliant. Forget great action movie or great comic book movie, this is just a great movie.
Captain America the Winter Soldier may be a bit overambitious, but that's a very honorable fault. At the end of the day, Marvel delivered another must-see blockbuster. It's full of solid characters, witty dialogue, and spectacular action. It's more emotionally driven than Thor the Dark World, but not as narratively tight as Iron Man 3. It fits very nicely right in the middle, which certainly isn't a bad thing. Captain America the Winter Soldier gets an 8 out of 10.
Captain America the Winter Soldier receives a 9 out of 10.
Captain America the Winter Soldier scores a 9.5 out of 10. Good work, soldier.